The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.
Okay, well, I would like to introduce myself and welcome everybody to the call tonight. My name is Lori Dufresne, certified health coach. I am just so excited to be sharing tonight on this topic of healthy mind and breakthrough, because so much has changed in my life over the past 4.5 years. And again, I just want to introduce Brad Miller. He's going to be assisting me tonight, and he's played a vital role in my breakthroughs in my life in the past 4.5 years of finding this program. It's been amazing. So why doesn't everybody keep chatting in the chat there and say where you're from? I'm excited. We have all types of people tuning in from all over the country. We do this call every Wednesday night. It's our Habits of Health call, and I just want to welcome you all here. We have clients. We have coaches, we have medical professionals, we have people that are just checking us out and learning more about the program. And tonight we're going to hopefully be able to inspire all of you to stay focused on what you want to create in your life, and tell you a little bit about my story. My husband and I found this program about 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years. And we really had struggled with the diet mentality for probably the past 25 years of our life. Just feel so... It's been truly remarkable how different this program has been for us. And honestly, the healthy mind component has completely transformed our lives and really created more freedom. Being able to put an end to that diet mentality and really start focusing more on what we wanted to create in our lives. And, you know, I wish what our pictures showed was truly the transformation that happened in our mind. The pictures show our healthy body transformation, but the healthy mind doesn't always show. But I think in some of these pictures, you can see the happiness. And my husband lost 50 pounds. I lost 30. And that's been almost 5 years now. And we have never been able to do that. So tonight, I really want to just help you focus and learn some tools and some tips that have really helped me and most of my clients that I can help through this as well. Hopefully, it'll bring you some inspiration and some breakthrough. So I was asked... a couple weeks ago about, oops, did I lose something? Oh, there we go. We're going to be talking about a healthy mindset. So I was asked a couple weeks ago what I love about what I do. And honestly, it's the best thing that I get to do every single day is help people break through and become the best versions of themselves and not hold back, not be held back by their fears or their insecurities, but to actually help them focus on what they want to create in their life. So how many of you have felt like this in this picture? I love this picture because that's exactly how I felt when I first got started on this program. I was so hopeful, you know, hearing from my health coach, Susie, what was possible. And I just felt so excited to get started. And I know many of our clients feel the same way. How many of you guys can relate to that? Type in the chat, like, were you this excited? So I'm just going to move my screen here. So in the beginning of our health journey, oops, sorry guys, technical stuff. Okay, so we talk to our health coach. We get super excited about the possibilities. What would it feel like to touch your toes again? What would it feel like to get on the scale and see a number that you haven't seen in 30 years? What would it feel like to climb up to the top of the mountain? There's so many things that happen when you can sit and you set your goals and you get excited and you get that clarity on what you want to create. Sometimes we get excited and we are so ready to take this on, but then we hit a little bump in the road and an obstacle comes our way. How many of you guys have ever had an obstacle that showed up in your life and caused you to lose focus? Type in the chat like what some of those obstacles are. I think so many of us can relate to the same types of things, the busyness of life and just not taking time for ourselves. And there's so many things that help us make us lose focus. So I want to challenge all of you guys tonight. Sometimes we look at those obstacles as a bad thing. So what if we actually switched our perspective on that? What if we actually started looking at those obstacles as a good thing and actually embrace the obstacle and expect the obstacle to happen? Sometimes we need to really assess that and thinking about like backtracking in our life when we had our hardest struggles or things that came our way that we thought, oh my gosh, I just don't have what it takes to get through this. Didn't we learn a lot from that? I look at the hardest times of my life and I was like, wow, there's so many hidden lessons in that I grew from. And so looking at the obstacles that are coming to you on your journey, how do you show up? Are you the red line, the the red, the blue, or the green arrow? Do you come charging to it and then maybe tap into it a little bit and then back away? Or are you the blue arrow where you come charging to it and you're like, oh, I don't know about this, and you go the opposite direction? That was me. That was me for, probably the first 35 years of my life. I lived in fear, I lived in insecurity, and I didn't think I could do it. So I would come up to it and then say, nope, not for me, can't do it. Tonight we're going to talk about being more of that green arrow, where we can actually expect that obstacle to be coming, and we're going to charge through it because we are so crystal clear on what we want that we can break through that obstacle and get that reward that's right on the other end. So I've got a question for all of you guys. Does anybody know a tool in the Habits of Health system that can assist us and provide clarity with goal setting and breakthrough? Anybody know? I can't see the chat. Brad, if you want to come off mute, see if anybody has any. Oops, got it. I'm going to give you guys a hint. It's 2 words. Anybody got it, Brad?
Yeah, we got a few people getting it. And Laura, you can grab it. You click on the chat. It'll pull up on your screen. You can see it too. Yeah, I got a few people, a few things tuning in here. See, here we got some what questions and some answers all over the place. See, vision board, map, vision board, health coach, your why, structural tension, why, structural tension. Some like really good stuff and a few right answers.
I love it. They're all right answers, but I'll tell you.
They're all right answers.
They are. Structural tension has transformed my life, I will say, because when I first saw it, I wasn't really big into charts and I wasn't really big into writing goals. But when I saw this, I had the privilege of being at a leadership conference in Sundance a few years back, and I really got to see this and really understanding it at such a deeper level. I'm a very visual person. And so looking at the bottom of the arrow, that's what your current reality is. That's where you are right now. And thinking about your goals up here, this is what you want to create in your life. Now, sometimes we get those obstacles or we get those excuses or we get those things that get us caught up from actually achieving those goals, and they pull us down. So we're shooting up for the sky to get those goals, but then that tension pushes us right back down again. It creates that tension and it brings us right back to our current reality again. So there's so much more you guys can learn around structural tension. It's a whole nother class in itself. And I know that we have some past Habits of Health calls that have discussed this in more detail, but the great place to find more information on this is your Habits of Health book, and I believe it's chapter 4, and then in Discover Your Optimal Health in chapter 11. It really, Dr. A spells it out so beautifully, so I highly recommend taking a look at that. So let's talk about this. I love it. So let's type in the chat here too. What do you guys see on this? What do you see on this page? And Brad, again, I might need your help here because I'm for some reason not.
See, dot, period, dot, staying focused, black and white space.
They got
one
it.
White space. So Shireen, I think Shireen had the answers. Shireen knows about the white space.
She does know about the white space.
I see more dot, a tiny dot surrounded by white.
Very creative, everyone. I love it. You guys are all right. So yes, most people, when we're focusing on something, we're just focusing on that dot. So I'm going to just use an example. Let's say that you were invited to a birthday party and you were going to a restaurant and you're just getting started on your plan and you're doing so good. Like, you're so focused and you're just feeling like sad and depressed. Like, I can't go to this party. It's a birthday party. I've got to have cake. I've got to have a glass of wine. I'm not going to have any fun. And that's all you're focusing on, right? That's your dot. You're laser focused on the reasons why you can't have it. So again, switch of perspective, because what you're not seeing is everything in the white space. You're not seeing that, oh my gosh, I've come so far. I can do this. I'm going to take this challenge, this obstacle, and I'm going to overcome it. And I'm going to feel victorious. And I'm going to go to that restaurant birthday party, and I'm going to be so excited about how far I've come that I'm going to see the cake, I'm going to see the wine, I'm going to see the baked potato and the bread, and be so laser focused on what I want to create. So there's just a different perspective. So going into situations, whether it be a party, a restaurant, whatever it is, being at work and people bringing donuts and sitting them on the desk, the best thing you could ask yourself is ask yourself this: what am I focusing on right now? Am I focusing on creating health in my life? Or am I focusing on the cookies or the donuts or the wine? So think about switching the perspective of the dot. Let your dot be your goals. Focus on that. And then everything else in the white space are going to be floating around: your cookies and your bagels and your bread and your wine. It's going to be almost invisible to you. Okay, so let's talk next about your level of commitment. Okay, so there's always different levels of this. It's either low or high. So are you more committed to the way that things are in your life right now, or are you more committed to creating the life that you want? And looking at the words that you're using. I hope I can get there. I wish I could get there. I'd like to get there. Our words are so powerful. But what if you say, I want this. I'm going to create this. I'm committed to creating this in my life. And really, it's just an eye-opening where our words are so, so powerful in helping us create what we desire. So a beautiful example that I would like to share with you is this amazing woman, April Pickheron. You know, it's been really rewarding and just so amazing seeing how far that she has come on her health journey. And I love using her example because she's a beautiful example of breakthrough and being really laser focused on what she wants. So April, do you mind sharing a little bit about some tools that have been helpful for you and a little bit about your journey?
Thanks, Lori. Okay, so my number one excuse was I'm too busy. I had 3 jobs. I belonged to a million organizations, and I did not think I had time to do things like meal prep, listen to calls, read the books, get healthy sleep. So my breakthrough came through when I realized that busy was just an excuse. And what I needed to do was to prioritize, which I did with my health coach. So I did something small every day, like spending 10 minutes listening to a 30-minute video while I was putting on my makeup, and then 20 minutes while I was driving, but not watching it, just listening to it. Meal prepping on Sunday, setting up my environment correctly to get healthy sleep. Not like, for instance, not using electronic devices like an hour before bed. And then I realized that if I did not take the time to prioritize my life and invest the time, my health and my life would look very different than it does today. I learned to surround myself with positive, like-minded people, since you do become like the 5 people you surround yourself with. And honestly, I had to walk away from some of the toxic environments I'd found myself in. The last time I went to my doctor, he remarked that I was an example for his other patients. Woo! That was exciting. I purposely surround myself with this healthy community because it encourages me to make healthy choices. And the longer I've done this, the less resistance I get from people in social situations, because now they expect me to make healthy choices. And it did not happen overnight. It happened through practice. What I did was I took this program seriously, and I fully incorporated all the tools, like the books, the Zoom calls like this, the Facebook client page, communicating with my health coach. And now I feel I have a healthy body and a healthy mind. I am truly transformed.
I love it. I love it, April. And you said a couple of really important things. It didn't happen overnight. It was practice, practice, practice. And, I think one thing that we did is, you would just take one thing at a time, and you're so coachable and you're so open to mentorship. And you guys, we need that. We need that. Most of us have lived with an unhealthy mindset for the majority of our lives. So we can't just expect that just overnight that everything is going to change for us. It takes time, and it takes practice, and it takes a big, strong, positive attitude to take it on. April, definitely, you're such a great example of just that attitude shift too, right? Like at the beginning, you were very resistant to so much, right?
Very, unbelievably, yes.
So I just appreciate, how open you were to mentorship and how you really desired change. Your level of commitment was definitely on the high side. So thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Lori.
Okay, so let's talk again here, guys, about true breakthrough. And we're just, again, going to reiterate April's example here. She was busy. I will say, hands down, she's probably one of the busiest people I've ever met, with every organization she was a part of. And she had like 5 jobs, and she was so busy. And so we really did have to break through that. So her commitment was high, and she went straight up to that wall, right? But those excuses kept popping up. The fear was there. The beliefs were there. Her old belief system, her old habits were there. Her excuses were there. And she'd come up to that wall. She'd be resistant. And sometimes she'd back away. But you know what? She learned little by little how to break through that wall. And now she is living a life it's blowing me away to see the changes that are happening in her. And she's truly living an extraordinary life. So thank you again, April, for your example. So Pamela is up next. Something really special about Pamela is, she came to us. She's one of April's amazing clients, and she lost 10 pounds, I believe, like in 3 weeks. She was doing so good. However, she wasn't feeling like she was doing good. She was feeling discouraged. She was ready to quit. So you know what? We hopped on a call with her, and April just really believed in her and just thought, you know what? I don't want her to give up. She's got this. And so Pamela I chose tonight because I don't know that I worked with anybody that flipped that switch so quickly. She turned her mindset around so quickly. And I just thought, gosh, it was such a black and white picture of just taking the emotion out, focusing on what she wanted. And I don't want to give the rest of her story away, but Pamela, will you jump on off mute? And you can share a little bit about what your experience and some tools that you can help everybody else help with their breakthrough.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Lori and April, for allowing me to share my story. I was so grateful because this topic is so near and dear to my heart. As Lori was touching upon, I had an amazing breakthrough that if I didn't have, I wouldn't be here with you all tonight, and I wouldn't have had the chance to really understand how unhappy I was. Like Lori was saying, I lost 10 pounds, almost 10 pounds in 3 weeks. And so I think if you ask anybody, what about losing 10 pounds in 3 weeks? I think you would sort of jump up for joy and say, wow, that's awesome. Let's sign me up. And so, at the time, I think I know I should have been super excited. But in fact, I gave April a call, my coach, and I said, I think this isn't a good fit for me. And I think I surprised myself because I should be excited. I've been waiting for so long to lose these 10 pounds because I'd been gaining 10 pounds every year for the past 3 years. So it seemed ironic that here I was 3 weeks later, and I was ready to throw in the towel. And so at her suggestion, we got on a call, and we spent some time talking about sort of where I was feeling. And what I remember at the time was that a lot of words like, feeling frustrated, deprived, just plain annoyed, that this is another task on my to-do list that I had to do for the day. I had plenty of other things at work that I had on my to-do list, and here's another one. And I had no options to really think creatively out of the box to cook. And I was irritated about that because I love to cook. And I felt isolated because sort of what Lori was saying earlier, that I get invited to go out to a restaurant or hang out with friends, and I felt I couldn't eat anything. And so I just felt like I just couldn't be myself, and this wasn't a good fit for me, and that's sort of what I decided. And so as we were talking through, all these feelings that I was feeling at the time, what was interesting, that what came up was how there was a correlation with these feelings towards the program and how my feelings towards my job and my personal life. And I realized that I was feeling resentful and frustrated and irritated and annoyed with my personal life and with my job, and I was feeling stuck, just like how I was feeling with the program. And so I think that was my light bulb moment, that this resentfulness, this sort of irritation with what and how stuck I was associating it with the program. And so I thought in real life I would be happy again. But then I realized I wouldn't be happy again. I'd probably be in the same boat and maybe more miserable because I would gain the 10 pounds again. And so I thought, well, what were my other options? And the more I thought about it, I didn't have any other options. I was overworked. I was too tired to think of anything. I was embarrassed to go to the gym, and I was feeling sluggish. I wasn't getting good sleep. So I just didn't have time to think about another option. So I took the plunge and said, okay, let me stay on the 5-in-1 and give this a try. Trust that the process and the system works, because I had been on plenty of Zoom calls where people talked about their stories and healthy mind and the healthy body that they gained from the program. And so, if they were saying that, and this has been around for a long time, and thousands of people that have had success, well, why couldn't I get that same success? So with that trust in the system, with the trust with what my coaches were saying, I decided, okay, let me give this a try and let me go all in and go the whole 10 yards and figure out, deal with these issues that I was feeling inside with my job and just sort of the resentfulness, and really put myself first, because I realized in the end I wasn't putting myself first. I wasn't taking those walks during lunch. I wasn't even eating lunch half the time. I wasn't eating much throughout the day because I said I had too much to do. And so I stopped making those excuses. I decided that I needed to really take care of myself and make myself a priority. And just slowly but surely, I started to feel so much better. And honestly, the weight loss was a byproduct of how much I started to feel better inside. And more as weeks go by, coworkers, friends tell me how, much of a change they see. But honestly, I feel that they see the change that's coming out from inside me. And so with that said, though, there's been good days and bad days, and I still come against the wall almost every day, but I've committed to putting myself first. I've committed to really making this transformative, transformation for myself, because of my whys of that. I want to be happy and I want to help others be happy. And so with that commitment and that decision to just not give up and stay connected to my new community of friends and with my coach, with my coaches who are there to support me no matter what, I am more and more excited as each week goes by to even stay more committed and really deal with all of this stuff, other personal things, with more courage. And am more confident that I will get to this place where it will become such a healthy habit and routine that I won't even have to think about it anymore. So again, I just thank you so much for letting me share my story and for everyone's support. And hopefully I can connect with all of you at the convention or at least online. So thank you.
Love it. Nice mic drop right there. Oh my gosh, Pamela. How many of you guys can relate? Can you relate to any or all of what she just said there? Have you guys come up against those obstacles where you're just, you know, coming up to that wall and then just turning the back the other way, or just not willing to go through that breakthrough? It always starts with you. And there was a saying I heard once, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Really let that resonate with all of you, and really think about how you're showing up in all areas of your life. The health journey is going to happen when you can get your mind in a healthy space, in a positive space. Taking that 10 minutes of her just going out for lunch to break away from the office, just to go for a little walk around the parking lot, that started to awaken her. So really start thinking about what you can start doing to start celebrating your victories, no matter what they are. Pamela, you're down, I'm sorry, so you got to that 10-pound mark, and now I believe you're down, what's your?
27.
27 pounds. You know, and she was ready to give up. So congratulations on that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
I'm sure so many people greatly were inspired by that. So keep going. And she said so many wonderful things there. You guys, it always starts with your why. Get rock solid on your why and really connect with your coach. It's so nice to be able to pass ideas back and forth and have someone to talk you through it. But why do you want it? How is it going to change your life? Why is it worth it? Why is it worth sticking to plan and making those healthy choices? How is your life going to be different once you get there? The one question I always ask all of my clients when I'm first getting started with them is, when was the last time that you felt really, really good about yourself? And if you could go back in that time and bring it back to your present self, how would your life look different? Who in your life would be affected by you getting healthier? So really to put some thought into your why, because when you are rock solid on your why, that laser focus will be so clear to be able to just say no to all of the temptations and obstacles that are coming your way. Start every morning with a brand new beginning and pretend you have a blank canvas in front of you. Brad Miller, my mentor, brought this up to me years ago, and once I started implementing this into my life, I really started feeling more crystal clear throughout the day. But bring your creativity into what you want for your day. How are you going to show up? What's your patience level going to be like? Are you going to be prepared for bringing healthy choices with you? Are you getting up early enough and packing a cooler? Things like that make the biggest difference so you're not showing up frazzled in your day. Bring passion into it. If you're an artist, make this your art. Whatever you love to do in life, getting healthy doesn't need to be different. It doesn't have to be two opposite ends of the spectrum. Bring your passion into your health journey and love and celebrate and feel victorious in every single day. Some questions that you can discuss with your health coach, realizing now that you have a fresh new start, is what are you going to start doing? What will you stop doing? And how are you going to approach this differently to make your dreams a reality? So make the decision that this is a lifelong process and it's not a diet. We're not looking for short-term results. We're looking for a lifetime of results. And always strive for progress, not for perfection. Give yourself grace in the journey. Thank you guys so much for getting on the call tonight. I hope that these stories inspired you, and I am so excited to celebrate and just hear all of your victories, and we're just super excited, and just give it an invitation for everybody. If you're feeling to get some more community in your life, please join us at our national convention in July. It is just that the stories of people's transformation are really going to awaken you into belief and knowing that this is something that you can create in your life as well. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
The preceding audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.